Well, second time in a year, almost a year to the day, I got laid off again. Twice in a year. I already was struggling so hard, actually low-key, to even keep the current roof over my head. I feel like there's a really big plan for them to, tank this so that we have to rely on other things, other people. I'm tired of my livelihood being in other people's hands. I'm scared. I have no idea where any of my bills are gonna come from, the money. I might be homeless in a week or two if I can't figure it out.
Next month will be officially 1 year since I have been unemployed and got laid off from my agency job. I've networked with barely anybody responding back to me. I've interviewed, got to multiple last rounds. Always got the same feedback that they went with somebody with more experience, but I was a great candidate. I've applied to over 1,000 jobs. I've applied to even low-paying jobs. I've applied to internships. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else they want from me.
Something terrifying happened in October and November of 2025. 2 months. Over 300,000 Americans suddenly lost their jobs. People woke up with emails that said your position has been eliminated. No warning. No severance. No health insurance the next day. These layoffs weren't limited to struggling companies. They were big tech, major auto manufacturers, large retail companies, and even profitable corporations. 2025 has been one of the worst years for layoffs. Through November, total layoffs reached 1.17 million, and as the graph shows, they were widespread across industries. Layoffs were led by manufacturing, followed by technology, transportation, healthcare, retail, government, and finance. Here are the major companies and their total number of layoffs for October and November. October layoffs shattered multiple records. The summary below highlights the key milestone.
Job cuts for the month of October totaled 153,074 according to CNBC. That's a 183% surge from just September, 175% surge from October of last year, the highest level for any October since 2003, and the worst year for layoffs since 2009. This is the worst October that the United States economy has had in terms of job cuts since 2003. This is the worst year for the United States economy in terms of job cuts and layoffs since 2009. That's the year after the Great Recession.
Unfortunately, the root cause of many of these layoffs is corporate greed. Corporate greed has driven many companies to prioritize short-term profits and shareholder returns over workers' livelihoods. Even as revenues and executive pay rise, layoffs are used to cut costs and boost stock prices. Employees are treated as expendable line items rather than long-term contributors to growth. This profit-first mindset has fueled mass layoffs, leaving millions of families vulnerable while corporate leadership remains insulated from the consequences.
80% of Amazon workers will be fired before 2026. Guys, this is insane. Look at this. Amazon just announced 14,000 layoffs. Its CEO made over $40 million last year. UPS announced 48,000 layoffs. Its CEO made over $24 million last year. Intel announced 20,000 layoffs. Its new CEO's package is valued at nearly $69 million. This is what I mean when I say the system is rigged, guys. This is crazy. And yes, the system is rigged indeed.
All right, guys, it's been a while since we talked about Microsoft. Remember how we talked about they laid off thousands and thousands of people a couple months back? Well, now there's a report out talking about the fiscal year earnings for their CEO. So he earned about $76 million in fiscal 2024. Guess what he's earned in 2025 fiscal year? $94 million in change. Most of that coming from stock options. Guess why they're laying people off? Nailed it. It's increasing the shareholder price. It's increasing the stock price. There's something you guys need to understand when it comes to this large corporations. Your Microsofts, your Amazons, your Googles, your HPs, your Dells, your name your Fortune, whatever. I'm in the tech space, so those are the ones that come to my mind. But name your Fortune 100 companies, your Visas, AT&Ts, whatever it is. Their executive teams, specifically their CEOs, are paid heavily compensated. on stock options. There is an incentive for them to trim down their staff toward the end of the year so they can pad those bonuses. And if you don't think that has something to do with the decisions made by every Fortune 500 company, you're crazy.
The real cost of layoffs is far-reaching, and nobody is talking about it. Something dangerous happens the moment a worker is laid off. And it's not just the loss of a job. It's the start of a chain reaction that can destroy financial stability, mental health, and even housing, often within weeks. The paycheck stops instantly. Many workers are laid off with no severance, no warning, and savings that can barely last a few months. Credit cards become survival tools, retirement accounts get reduced, and debt piles up fast. For millions of families, job loss is a financial freefall.
I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 8 years, and this week my husband got laid off. And it's more scary and overwhelming than I ever expected it to be. A lot of it feels out of my control, but obviously we knew it could happen. When you only have one income, you prepare for these things, but it kind of feels like we didn't prepare enough. One thing we did do is we have an emergency fund of a few months of expenses that hopefully we don't have to touch, but it's there if we need to. And if anybody has any tips or encouragement that has gone through this, please comment and let me know, because it's rough and there's no telling how long we'll be in this position.
In the U.S., our healthcare is tied to our employer. If we lose our job, we often lose coverage within weeks. People delay doctor visits, ration medication, or skip care entirely. For people with chronic illnesses, job loss can quickly become life-threatening without access to urgent medical care. Here is her situation. Layoffs don't just hurt today, they haunt the future. Extended unemployment creates resume gaps that quietly disqualify candidates. Many workers are forced to accept jobs paying 30 to 40% less than before, just to survive.
You're being absolutely scammed right now. These mass layoffs that people are saying is because of AI is actually not because of AI. They're doing this to essentially reset the job market with the salaries and wages that are being offered so that they can manipulate you, yes, you who are unemployed right now, into accepting lowball offers that you have previously just laughed at.
Okay, but what you guys don't realize is you're being conned right now. Like, these mass layoffs, it's not due to AI taking jobs. It's because corporate is trying to reset the job market and lower all of the pay for all of the jobs, so that what we're asking for in our job is able to be reset, and something that's like $30,000 less than we would have even blinked at is now standard.
I hope there's someone in here that's in the same boat as me. I'm 42 and I was laid off this year. I have not been able to find employment after 3,000 job applications and over 60 interviews.
I've actually had quite a few people ask me how my job search has been going. If you are unaware, I was laid off from my full-time job exactly a month ago, and I posted a video about it. It went viral and whatever, but I've had people ask me how my job search is going. If you couldn't tell by how puffy my eyes are, it's not going well. I feel like today is the first time in the last month that I actually had a full-fledged breakdown just about the job market and things like that. It's really hard when you go through an interview process somewhere and you are really hopeful about a job and then you don't get the job. And the job market is so tough because jobs want 3 to 4 years of experience, and most people don't have that.
Right now, many companies aren't hiring, and a single job opening can attract thousands of applicants. That makes things even harder for workers who've been laid off.
They're laying off the recruiters. They are laying off the recruiters. And if you're not a recruiter like me, and you're not living and breathing on LinkedIn, you're probably not seeing this. But the majority of people that I'm seeing recently laid off are the recruiters. And you know what that means? That means they're not hiring. We're not hiring. And they are going to tell you that it's because this work is being replaced by AI, but we are not there yet. Not collectively. We still need recruiters, and they're being laid off in massive numbers, and I have not seen this since 2008.
Being laid off isn't just economic, it's deeply psychological. Anxiety, depression, shame, and loss of identity set in fast. Stress reduces focus, motivation, and interview performance, trapping workers in a vicious loop.
Got laid off for the third time in my 10-year career this week. You'd think by the third time you'd be kind of used to it. No, doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better the more that it happens to you. In fact, it actually gets worse. It gets worse. Have nothing to really say. Every single day is now spent crashing out, thinking that I have no future, I'm never gonna find work again, and robots are taking over everything, AI is taking over every single job, and nothing that I actually want to do is ever gonna pay my bills, and I'm gonna die in a hole. So that's where I am.
So today is a really weird day mentally and emotionally for me because it officially marks 2 years since I've been laid off from my job in tech and haven't been able to find another full-time job, which I feel like leading up to this day, I've had so much anxiety.
Housing is the breaking point. Miss 1 or 2 rent payments and eviction notices follow. Some sleep in cars. Some lose stable housing entirely. Once housing is lost, finding a job becomes exponentially harder. No address, no stability, no safety net.
I'm ugly crying right now because I have not made any money at all, and unemployment still hasn't paid me, and I've had a couple people interested in taking my apartment, but then they just fell through last second, and I'm like, we're days away from July 1st, and I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna pay rent.
Okay, so this is, I'm just going to state, a really difficult post for me to make. Mainly because I am great at advocating for other people and what they need all day long. I'm not great at doing it for myself. So I'm just gonna state this out very plainly. I need help. I need support. I am in a very precarious situation with my housing right now, which is that my lease renewal is due in 11 days, or a decision on my lease renewal is due in 11 days, and I can't afford to stay and I can't afford to leave. And that is a scary thing to come up against. I have part-time work right now, and I have contract work right now that does not pay the bills in full, and it's not enough to secure a new lease anywhere. And I am working with legal aid for some accommodations. My leasing office has not been particularly accommodating. Despite being a 4-year resident in perfect standing, that even in the past 13 months with being unemployed, I have not missed a rent payment in full. So what I just need is a bridge. I'm not looking for anyone to take care of me. I'm not looking for anyone to take over. I just need some support while I continue to secure full-time, more steady work, and to get this elephant off my chest that has been sitting there for quite a while. We don't have the social supports that we need right now, and so sometimes we have to lean on our communities. And like I said, this is not an easy thing for me to just out and out ask for, because I take a little too much pride in independence. So I'm asking for help. I want to continue to support people. I want to continue to work. I want to continue to take care of myself and my child, because I am a single parent taking care of a young girl, and I need to make sure that we have a roof over our heads. I have put my Venmo and my PayPal in my bio. I'm just asking for a bridge to help me get through. I appreciate any support that comes my way, even if it's just sharing this or reposting this so that it gets more reach, because I know that so many of us are struggling right now. But thank you so much in advance.
The 2026 job market is shaping up to be just as dismal as 2025, if not worse. More layoffs are coming, driven by corporate policies and accelerated by automation, robots, and AI. The question is no longer if people will be laid off, but what happens next, especially when unemployment benefits run out. This is a frightening reality that millions may face in 2026.